evening, Lisa.
Good evening, Andrew.
It pays to advertise, apparently,
Okay.
for we have reached the end of season 5
Series 5.
of Are You Being Served?
Yes.
It's not the wheel in space, though.
No.
But the opening captions are back to being white.
They are. Yes. The experiment with blue is over.
The blue colour didn't last long.
No.
Mrs. Slocum's still got big hair,
She has. It's sort of orange.
but with multicoloured sideburny
Sort of
bits.
They're not sideburns. You can't have sideburns if you're a lady. They're curls.
Okay. But enter Ferdy Main.
Yes.
He's all poshed up,
He is.
isn't
We
he?
love Ferdy Main.
Because he's in Whodunit a bit,
He's
isn't he?
in Whodunit several times. Yeah.
But he's after some perfume,
Perfume. Yes.
isn't he? So he's goes to Mrs. Slocum first, and she's got some called hilarity, which is inviting and amusing, with some with a hint of onions about it,
Yes.
because she puts it on her hand, and
Yeah.
she's been she had hot pot or something.
She's been making hot pots. So she's been
Yeah.
chopping onions.
But then he tries it out with Miss Brahms.
Yes.
And he likes hers better. But all they've got left is the spray
The display
bottle
spray
itself, which is for £10. But he likes it so much, he says he'll wear it. So he
going off
liberally
liberally,
douses himself in it.
Yes.
Captain Peacock asks, "Did you find what you were looking for?"
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "Not quite, but wearing this, he has high hopes."
Yes. And he minces off.
He did what?
He minces off.
Does he?
He does a bit, yeah.
Okay. Mr. Humphreys has got a bloke with swimming trunks, hasn't he? And there have been problems with swimming trunks being transparent, but these should be all right. Mr. Lucas has been with a bird at a landlady's, at a digs, I suppose, and she won't let men into the room after 11 o'clock.
The landlady, not the girl.
Mr. Humphreys had one like that, and he described it as Mission Impossible.
Yes.
Because they can't make any noise.
Couldn't turn the light on because it clicked. Couldn't sit on the bed because it squeaked.
Yeah. But eventually, bang, 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 and it's the landlady knocking on the door. Mr. Mr. Lucas walks out with the telly.
Yes.
Pretending he's a repairman. The only trouble is he doesn't have his trousers on.
No, it would have worked if he'd been wearing his trousers.
Pay packets arrive, and Mrs. Slocum notices she's got £10 too much.
Yes.
Because her and Mr. Humphreys, their photo likenesses, being used as the basis for some display dummies.
Yes. I remember getting a pay packet like that.
What?
Little brown
Square
envelope.
one. Did
with
it have money?
in
Proper
Yeah.
money? I've never had a pay packet with proper money in. I've always had slips.
Only when well, there's a slip in there as well. When I worked in a shop,
All right.
you got paid in cash. Yeah.
But the Mrs. Slocum dummy is designed to appeal to the average woman in the street, and Mr. Humphreys is meant to appeal to the average man in the street.
Yes.
Mr. Harmon brings on the Mrs. Slocum one, which is wrapped in brown paper.
It is.
With just her head protruding,
Yes.
isn't it? The Mr. Humphreys one is loitering outside the gents.
Yes, and you said he better go and rescue it before he gets arrested for
Loitering.
yeah.
The Mrs. Slocum dummy doesn't have as many wrinkles as the real version.
No.
Because there was too much overtime.
Yes, Mr.
To render them.
Grace wouldn't pay for the overtime.
The hair comes off though, doesn't it?
Yes, it's a wig.
It's a wig. And her bust is far too big.
Yes.
Because she's been overstuffed.
Yes.
So Mr. Harmon wastes no time in getting all the stuffing out.
Yeah. And she doesn't want rough workman's hands in her bra.
Inside her bra.
Yeah.
Mr. Harmon says this could be your last chance.
Yes.
She's also got wrinkled stockings, and Mr. Lucas goes to adjust them.
He does. He does even.
Yeah, and he finds she's got suspenders.
Yes.
And there's a load of sellotape up there as well.
Yes. I don't know what you've been having trouble. You're elastic, he says.
Mr. Granger comes over and compliments the Mrs. Slocum dummy, saying it looks nice. There's a pause. Obviously, it doesn't reply. The real Mrs. Slocum is sort of hiding behind it, laughing, isn't she? Ignore me then, you bad-tempered old cow, goes Mr. Granger and stumps off. The Mr. Humphreys dummy comes in. What do you think of the actual likenesses? How close are they, do you think?
The Mrs. Slocum one is pretty good.
Yeah.
The Mr. Humphreys one's not
really like
not
him.
so good. No.
But it looks too posed. It's got his hand up, hasn't
Yes.
it? And is it Mr. Lucas comes along and just goes like that with his hand to adjust it. It's also got a stiff neck.
Yes.
And apparently Mr. Humphreys trained as an osteopath.
Yes.
How many
He's had
secrets
loads of
has he
different
got?
jobs, Yeah.
And they sort of try and pull their head about, but it comes off.
Yes.
And Mr. Harmon takes it away to be fixed. But Rumbold's coming, so Mr. Humphreys has to stand in its place,
He
doesn't
does.
he?
Yes.
Mr. Rumbold says it doesn't look quite right. The real Mr. Humphreys isn't nowhere near as wet as looking as that. He's got his mouth open, but Mr. Lucas just shuts it for him. This is for an underwear display, though, which so they don't need all the outer layers.
No.
So Mrs. Slocum's is removed.
Yes, and she
feels a bit faint
she
at
does.
seeing this.
Yes.
Glass of water for Mrs. Slocum. And the real Mr. Humphreys has to be stripped off. So they take his jacket off and his waistcoat.
Yeah.
Because this is all for a special event in Y-fronts. Isn't it? So you don't see it, you just...
On his face.
It's close up on his face. And Captain Peacock pulls the trousers down. And Miss Brahms sort of has a look and says they're getting very thorough in display with all the detail, I suppose. Anyway, young Mr. Grace has got an idea, sort of an advert campaign.
Yes, and they're in the boardroom again.
Yeah, they're in the boardroom again.
And it's the same set as the last time. So they haven't changed it again in the meantime.
But and they say about how they've got loads of branches everywhere.
Yeah.
And they've got 200 Mrs. Slocums and 150 Mr. Humphreys. I don't know why there's 50 more Slocums than Humphreys.
No, I don't know.
I'm assuming it's not one per store, because that would be ridiculous, having 200 stores. But they mentioned the Portsmouth branch, because we've had Liverpool mentioned.
Yeah, they mentioned there's one in Portsmouth.
And one in Chatham.
And one in Chatham, where the Mr. Humphreys model has already been stolen.
Chatham's got docks and things.
Yes.
I wonder if the implication is that a sailor has stolen Mr. Humphreys, run off with him or something.
Chatham in Kent, obviously.
But young Mr. Grace has been to see Blue Emanuel 4 in the cinema, and he got some ideas.
He did, yes.
But they're talking about having adverts in the interval.
Not in the interval, before it starts.
Yeah. Well, they said interval.
Well, yeah, but you don't really...
And there's something about an advert with Spike Milligan jumping through the bottom of a boat.
Yes.
Have you any idea what
I have no idea what
advert
it's
is? Somebody
about.
will probably know what that is.
Yeah.
But
You probably search for it.
I assume it's a real one. Spike Milligan did do various adverts. So there's one for the English Tourist Board that I've seen. That's on YouTube.
I think I've seen that one,
But yeah, it's all going to be expensive getting the agency in to do it.
And Mr. Grace is cheap.
Yeah. So this is meant to be set in the Cocoa Club cocktail bar. And we get a bit of showy offy. There's a circular wipe. It's like the picture comes out, like that. That was a circular wipe, you see. So Mr. Humphreys enters in full director's gear, doesn't he?
I mean, it's the full
cliched director's gear.
directors, 'cause he's got
with eye shade and everything.
He's got an eye shade. He's got jodhpurs on. He's got
cravat. Is it a cravat?
Riding boots.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't got a whip for some reason.
Okay. But everybody's having their hair done, aren't they? And sort of they've got their hair dry. They're one of those over the head ones out for Captain Peacock.
Yeah. Cyber converse.
Yeah. Or the Animus. What's it? You know, come on, drop this hairdryer. But Peacock's in curlers, isn't he?
Yes.
They're very, very tight. Because they wanted somebody who was not unlike David Niven.
Yes.
And he's the closest thing they've got.
He's the most not unlike
Mr.
David
Humphreys makes him purse his lips as well, doesn't he? Sort of. They're dry, so they're going to put some canteen dripping on them. They never do, thankfully.
No.
Mrs. Slocum's having trouble with her false eyelashes.
Yeah, she keeps gluing her eyes together.
And she says that it's like looking through bars as though she's at Holloway. And the left one gets stuck. It gets prized up.
Yeah.
And then the other one goes. But her hair now is sort of blonde and curly,
Yeah,
isn't
it's a
it?
wig, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's sort of...
Who's it meant to be? Some film star?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's.
Well, you have a think.
Oh, see,
Miss-
I'm rubbish at those
Right,
kind of film
just let it
stars.
churn. Mr. Rumbold has got a moustache and a wig.
Yes, but Mr. Lucas puts the moustache on upside down first of all.
Yeah. The wig was meant to be Burt Reynolds, but it's more like Liza Minnelli.
Yes, they sold out of Burt Reynolds.
Or they could have had Max Bygrave.
Yeah.
Mr. Granger is playing Henry the lovable bartender. He's got this pink jacket on. That doesn't fit, does it?
The sleeves are too long.
And his trousers keep falling down.
Yes, because they're not done up. They won't do up.
Miss Brahms is come as a bunny girl,
She
isn't
has.
she? I like the fact she's got one wonky ear as well. Yes, Mr. Humphreys is allowed to put her tail on, I guess, because she trusts him.
Yeah.
It's one of those sort of
Cotton wool
things, isn't it?
yeah,
She's got another two
Yeah.
that Mr. Lucas is allowed to put on.
Yes, and
Well,
he puts them in the wrong place to start
he
with.
puts them up top, and they should be on her shoes.
Yes,
Then the cameraman shows up. He's from the photographic department,
he is.
and they've got a proper film camera.
Yeah.
You know, great big thing. And the cameraman says, Mr. Humphreys, with his looks, he should be starring in it, not directing.
Yes, he should be on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, but it's a hard decision to decide what side of the fence you should be on,
Yes.
as it were. Mr. Harmon is on sound with his headphones on.
Yeah.
And Mr. Granger has got a wave his shaker about, hasn't he?
Yes.
Or he could arrange his nuts, couldn't he?
Or count his olives.
Or count his olives or something.
And he does this very loudly. 1,
2.
2.
Mrs. Slocum is then revealed to be wearing a glittery thing, isn't
Yes.
it? Which
It's sort of a cocktail dress, apparently.
is very low cut at the front, isn't
It
it?
is very low cut
And she-
and a little bit too short.
And she can't blink, can she?
No.
So they go for a rehearsal.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is that Captain Peacock comes down the stairs
Yeah.
and he hands all his brolly in his hat
Yes.
over
To Miss Brahms.
Miss Brahms.
Who's the coat check girl.
Mr. Lucas is on boom microphone, so
Yes.
he's got to stand there with it above their heads out of
Yeah.
shot.
Mm-hmm.
And sort of doing that for any length of time, I think you're going to do your arms a mischief. But the rehearsal isn't brilliant, and then they've got to get Mrs. Slocum on the stool,
Yes.
and Mr. Lucas has got to do that,
Yeah,
and
'cause
he just
can't jump up.
he doesn't know sort of how to do
No,
it, does he?
he sort of looks at her and she looks at him. Then he just
They're sort of squaring off, aren't
yeah,
they?
he's like, oh,
like they're going to have a wrestle
gosh,
or
yes.
something.
And at the end, he just picks her bodily up and almost throws her on the stool.
Yeah, there's a cry of "my trousers are coming down"
Yeah.
from Mr. Granger.
Yeah. And you get to see she's got blooming bloomers on
Yeah.
under this cocktail dress.
But Captain Peacock is supposed to say the usual "please, Henry," but Mr. Granger is annoyed he hasn't got any lines, so he starts saying "good evening, sir."
Yes.
And from the point of view of his character, he has got a point, because
Yes.
if he doesn't reply, he's going to be rude, isn't he? And
Yeah.
he's meant to be a lovable bartender. But he stands there sort of shake,
Yeah,
shake.
really noisily.
Yeah. Mr. Granger, I can't hear you. He's making a sidecar, apparently,
Yes.
whatever that is.
Yeah.
But then they think maybe it should be a whiskey and soda.
He could be quieter.
And Mr. Granger says that's not his usual. I love the way he's really sort of concerned about
He's
his
vested
character.
into his character again, isn't he? He does this every time.
So Mrs. Slocum sort of is offered a cigarette, and because she can't see, she's fumbling about inside, and they go everywhere.
Yeah, and then it's sort of...
She gets one in her gob, and then Captain Peacock goes to light it, and it sort of...
Yeah.
It's like it flares as though it's explosive or something.
Yeah, it's like one of those joke ones, I suppose,
Yeah.
isn't it? So, yeah.
But the sound isn't great, so they're
No.
going to try the radio mic out, and then it immediately disappears down
Mrs. Slocum's cleavage.
Mrs. Slocum's top. It's dropped right down! So they have to do a sound check, and Captain Peacock has to keep getting closer and closer to her
until
chest.
the end he's just shouting into her cleavage, isn't he? So.
Your face seems very familiar.
Yeah.
The sound quality is described as somebody yelling down a lift shaft,
Yes.
which I like. And then there's a load of noises from Mrs. Slocum's stuff. It's like the podcast.
Yeah.
Like if we record after we've had sort of tea or something, when Warren's
you can
around,
quite often hear your stomach
you can
gurgling.
hear some gurgling. But yeah, maybe he should shout up her skirt, but she's not having him shouting up her skirt. Your face seems very familiar. So Mr. Rumbold's got to try and play some music on the accordion,
and it makes a sort of squeaky noise.
It's a farty noise. It is really.
Yeah.
We're not being very
no
clever
subtlety
here. No. But yeah, he sort of demonstrates, and all Mr. Harmon wonders is, blimey, where she got the microphone now. Young Mr. Grace comes in, and all they can do is go for a take.
Yeah.
Now, from a sort of direction point of view, they appear to be trying to do it all in one master shot, in sort of wide shot.
Yes.
If it was a real advert, you'd do individual shots, but they're just going for the wide shot. And, even an advert like that would take days to film, and they're trying to do it like in real time.
Yes.
So, no wonder it don't work. But yeah, young Mr. Grace is going to be sort of with the champagne. Mr. Lucas gets the clapperboard, great big thing, and he does the thing, and he gets his finger caught in it. So yeah, and then the take is just a complete shambles, isn't it?
Yeah, because everything that can go wrong goes wrong.
The usual please Henry, and because Mr. Granger can't speak, he does his thing again. Can I give you one?
Yeah.
Is Peacock's line to Mrs. Slocum. And then they sort of have a dance, don't they, with farty noises from the accordion.
And the stool stuck on her bottom.
Still stuck to her ass, all the way through this.
Yeah.
Young Mr. Grace comes in, and he's got his glass in one hand and his bottle in the other, and he tips the bottle up, and it just goes on the floor, doesn't it?
Yes.
And he thinks, I either need a wider glass or a longer bottle.
Yeah.
Or just bring them closer together. And he sort of thinks about this, and he says, get onto the advertising agency and get Spike Milligan. So I'd love to see the Spike Milligan Grace Brothers advert. They should have opened next season with it.
Yeah.
But
I think Spike Milligan would have cost him too much.
And that's it. The only sort of notable thing about the end credits is somehow Wendy Richards has got an enormous carrot from somewhere.
She has.
Chewing it like Bugs Bunny.
Yes.
So where on earth that's come from, I really don't know. And that's season 5, and that's the end of
Mr. Granger.
Mr. Granger.
Sadly.
Yeah. There's no Christmas special at all, is there?
Well, not for this season, because it finished in March or April.
But
so
I think this has been a very strong season, actually.
It has.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a shame that that circumstances mean that this is the last we see of this lineup, because. Mr. Granger's had quite some good stuff this year.
These last couple of episodes have been quite strong for him.
Yeah.
He's had some good stuff to do.
Yeah.
Because obviously the previous episode was centred around his character, and he's had some good little moments in this one.
But all in all, I think the series is sort of doing very well at the moment. So.
Yeah, and in the next episode, we'll get to meet Mr. Tepps.
Yes, indeed. So we'll see. Goodbye, and see you again with the next season.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.